So I'm here to answer that one big question. Is law school really hard?
Like, girl, what you settling for? Yeah, we ballin', we settling score. You know I need that scene and scene that down. I'm trying.
For today's law fact, by law, it is illegal for a woman to remarry the same man 4 times.
I'm a little confused. Why is this even a law? I'm sorry, like, divorcing your husband 1 time wasn't enough for you? You had to do it an additional 3? I'm sorry, but Kentucky, y'all are different.
Hi everyone, it's Kay Yvonne here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thanks for tuning in, and please do me a favor and subscribe to my channel. I am a recent law school graduate. I attended Northwestern Pritzker School of Law. Obviously, you clicked on this video link because either you are interested in going to law school or maybe you are a law student and you're just like, oh my gosh, does it get easier? Does it get better? So I'm here to answer that one big question. Is law school really hard? And I'm going to save you some time, okay? I'm not going to wait till the end to reveal the answer. I'm going to straight up tell you now, yes, law school is that hard. But I'm not going to leave you hanging. I'm going to tell you why law school is that hard. And essentially, by me doing so, I hope to either prepare you mentally as you are starting your law school journey, or if you're in it, you know, these advice will help you from aborting ship, you know, or wanting to drop out, because it does get easier. So let's get straight into the reasons why law school is hard. So me personally, I've always heard that law school is hard, but I kind of brushed off that comment because I always heard like the higher you are in education, the harder it becomes. When I was in kindergarten, they were like, oh, elementary school is going to be harder. When I was in middle school, they were like, oh, I don't know if you can do high school. It's going to be harder. But in high school, as soon as you graduate and you walk across that stage, they're like, oh, college is going to be so intense. You're going to have to buckle down. I don't know if you can handle it. And not to brag about myself, but I passed all those things with flying colors. So I was just like, okay, obviously law school is just the next step, and it is what it is. But let me tell you, these people were not lying, okay? Law school is extremely harder. And why is that? Well, point number 1, law school is new. Okay? It's new. And you're probably like, what? What do you mean it's new? You're still going to school, you're still learning, you're still reading textbooks, but let me tell you, it is new. More likely than not, you are probably going to be in law school in a new environment. You're going to be in a new state or maybe even a new city. And if you're one of the lucky ones that go to the same law school that's connected to their undergrad, it's still new because there's still new professors, there's still new students, and it's just, you have to learn to adjust to that environment, and that doesn't come easy. You have to adjust to the new style of learning. Learning the law is way different than how you learned in undergrad. It doesn't even matter if you took pre-law, because I did that. It doesn't help as much as you think it does. But that's where the frustration and the tension comes, is because you're constantly learning something new. And in reference to learning the law, you are constantly reading information out of a huge textbook filled with words you do not comprehend. Because let's be real, these judges back in the day had some snooty high-class language, which was AKA legal jargon, so like your basic lower class could not understand what was going on. So they thought talking like 40 years ago was the best way to get the law out there. But guess what? To us 2020 people, we have no clue what you're saying, man. So that legal high-class jargon has you reading for hours trying to interpret what is even being said. That is one way law school is hard. It's just adjusting to your environment and figuring out what exactly is going on. Eventually you'll understand legal jargon. It's like learning a new language. At first, you might get a headache or 2 or 3, But in time, it just clicks and you know what's going on. So the second reason I think law school is hard for anyone is the cold call. Everyone talks about it because everyone is traumatized by it. Oh, seriously. Okay, and if you're not familiar with cold call, just briefly tell you what it is. It's basically you're in class, minding your own business, and then a professor says, hey girl, yeah, you know that 100 pages I assigned last night? I want you to tell the class about it. What exactly did you read? You can see that's kind of random, and that's nerve-wracking when you're in a class of 60 students or 80 students and your professor is bombarding you with questions where you don't even know what is exactly being said. What is truly hard about the cold call is the fact that no one wants to be embarrassed, especially during your first semester of law school. No one wants to be humiliated. Nobody wants to feel dumb. So what happens is, in turn, when you're studying at night, you're studying until like 12 in the morning because you're just like, I don't want to be cold called on. And people realize I have no idea what's going on. I want to look my best. And I don't know if that's the type A in us, but that is a crucial reason why law school is hard, because you don't want to fail. It's the fear of failure in front of your peers. And just my little advice on that, obviously I probably learned this the second or third year, the cold call is just really for show. Because at the end of the day, the only one who remembers their cold call is usually ourselves. I can honestly tell you, when I'm sitting in class and let's say Sarah got cold called on, I couldn't tell you what Sarah talked about because I'm over here in my seat. Stressed if the teacher is going to call on me next. So trust me, the only one that's paying attention to your cold call is you. Everyone is thinking about what question is going to be asked now and if they will have the answer. So that is just a mental battle that you have to prepare for. It's okay to say that you don't have the answer. The number 3 reason why I think law school is hard is because it's graded on a curve. What that means is your law school professor, let's say in a class of 30, can only hand out 5 A's. 5 A minuses. And obviously, everyone wants an A. But guess what? Not everyone can get an A because it's graded on a curve. So that's where the competition lies. You're trying to get that A because you want to be on top of your class. And to top it off, the only way to get that A is through one final. That's at the end of the year. One final exam. So just to clarify what I'm trying to say, you have homework assignments. Number 1, that is clear, but they're not really graded. They're just reading, and that prepares you for the cold calls. You might have a midterm, but that's usually not graded. The only thing that's graded is the final at the end. So if you're not a great test taker, bam, there's some stress right there. If you didn't prepare the whole year like you were supposed to, bam, that's some stress right there. And if you don't know how to write an exam or understand how your professors wants the exam written, then bam, that's the stress right there. So that's what makes law school hard. Number 4, this is why I thought law school was extremely hard. And that's because you're constantly comparing yourself to your peers. And I think that has to do with the fact that you're not graded on your work. What else can you base your grade on or base your progress? And me in particular, that was me to look at my peers, to figure out how much are they studying at night, or how much, I don't know, how many times are they going to office hours. And honestly, that was the biggest mistake I could have ever made. That's the biggest mistake you can ever make, because comparison is a thief of joy. Comparison will have you taking 8 tequila shots at bar review. So no, cut that out in advance and realize that you are okay. The only comparison you need to do is your work. Let's look at your progress from the entire year. Hey, did you start off not knowing what a blue book was? And now you know what a blue book is? Progress. Hey, was your first legal memo assignment god awful and now it's decent? Progress. That is what's important. And if you realize how far you've come, then you will experience so much peace and less stress and free from anxiety. So the reason why I really truly think law school is hard is because you are reinventing yourself. No one likes change. Let's be real. We want to be at a certain level. We want to be a lawyer. We want to be a partner. We want to get the wrongfully convicted out of prison. But in order to do that, you have to prepare yourself in a way where you have the tools needed to get to whatever goal you have. You're reinventing yourself. You're adjusting from your old ways of thinking and developing new ways of thinking. And honestly, that's stressful because you are breaking down habits that you made before law school. And let me tell you, I'll give you some examples exactly of what I mean. So for me, we all are assigned career advisors, and I showed my career advisor my resume. And let me tell you guys, my resume was on point. It was seen by, I don't know, a good 5 to 6 people. My resume is what got me into law school. But when I took it to my law school career advisor, she handed it back to me and it was entirely red. Red! Everything marked up. Everything was a problem for her. And I just was so mad, so frustrated because I'm like, what does she know? This has been looked at by 6 people, all in very good professional roles. So what do you really know? But, when I came back the next day, because your girl had to calm down, she was saying, it's not you. Law school literally tears you down to build you up into the person that you're supposed to become. You don't get anywhere by not experiencing trials. You don't get anywhere by not facing your struggles or your fears. You don't get anywhere by staying stagnant. And my resume needed to be a legal resume. It didn't need to be a professional resume. It needed to be a legally professional resume. So that's one example. And then the next example is, let's really think about it. You don't know how to think like a lawyer. So these exams are literally training to use your analytical mind so you can think about how to be a lawyer. How can you spot issues and fact patterns? Because when a client comes to your room or your office, you're going to have to spot those issues and be able to tell them like, hey, this might be murder, larceny, arson, So just know that you're reinventing yourself. And if you're going to reinvent yourself, it takes work. Not many people have tread the path to law school. Let's point that out, number one. So just think, for you to even desire this position or for you to even be in this role, you are already taking a huge step that many people cannot take. Not everyone has the courage to reinvent themselves or go to higher education. So congrats to you. I think I talked a lot. I really do. But that's really all I have to say. I think those are the reasons that make law school hard. But I hope that you can take away the fact that law school may be hard, but it's not impossible. You can combat each and every one of the barriers that I said today. Guess what? I did it. Matter of fact, I'm a minority. There's 5% of blacks that are attorneys. That number drastically shrinks when you're talking about female attorneys that are black. So guess what? I did it. You can do it too, whatever your story is, whether you're a minority, whether you're a first generation law student in your family, you can do this. Law school is hard, but guess what? You can accomplish it. Stay persistent and realize that it does get easier. So, thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to my channel. Gracias. Look at all the pointers on my AP.